بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه ما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال بينما النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يخطب إذا هو برجل قائم فسأل عنه فقالوا أبو إسرائيل نذر أن يقوم في الشمس ولا يقعد ولا يستظل ولا يتكلم ويصوم. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma reports that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was doing the khutbah one day, kana yakhtub, and he saw a man standing. And he asked about this individual. They said he is Abu Israel. Abu Israel nadhara an yaquma fi shamsi wala yaq'ud. He made a vow. Another means you take a promise, a vow, that you will do the following thing, and you're not allowed to break your vows unless it's a haram vow. So this man, he took out a vow and he promised that he will stand fi shams, in the sun, and he will not sit. So he will stand where the sun is shining and he's not going to sit. وَلَا يَسْتَظِلُّ وَلَا يَتَكَلَّمُ. He will not seek shade, nor will he speak to anyone. وَيَصُومُ. And he's fasting. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مروه فليتكلم وليستظل وليقعد وليتم صومه رواه البخاري. Tell him that he should speak. And why should he abstain from speaking? وَلْيَسْتَظِلْ. Let him seek shade. وَلْيَقْعُدْ. And let him sit. And then let him complete his fast. This hadith is in Bukhari. So this man takes a vow. Some of the things he's promised to do is something good, like fasting. That he's vowed to fast a day for the sake of Allah. This is something good. But the rest of the things that he's promised to do is abstain from speaking, standing in the sun, not sitting down, not seeking shade. These are things that are not from the Quran or the Sunnah, not from the teachings of Al-Islam. So these are things that are not good. They are not good. This is extremism. It's going beyond the bounds of what's legislated. So the Prophet ﷺ is teaching him, stick to the Sunnah. There's no need to be extreme in your worship. Fast, but relax. Sit down, sit in the shade. Speak to people. It's as if this man wanted to fast but suffer whilst fasting. I will fast a day for the sake of Allah, but I will do it to such an extent I won't speak to anyone. I won't sit. I won't seek shade. I will stand in the sun the whole day. Why? Because I will endure and suffer for the sake of Allah. But this is not what the Quran and Sunnah teaches us. Did the Prophet ﷺ fast like this? He never fasted like this. So fasting is not legislated in this manner. This again shows us the importance of sticking to the Sunnah, learning the method of and the manner of worship, and sticking to that manner of worship. All goodness is found in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Going beyond the bounds take one into extremism and one into innovation and bid'ah, which is haram and not allowed. Because then you're going into, as we said, extremism. So the Prophet ﷺ gives them the guidance on what this man should do. And we learn from this, even though he took a vow, he's allowed to break his vow. Why? Because the vow that he took out was not legislated. It was not in accordance with the teachings of Al-Islam. So we have a hadith with the Prophet ﷺ. He said that if anyone vows, but his vow is to do something haram, then he should break his vow. He should not fulfill the haram. For example, somebody says, I promise that I will drink alcohol. I take a vow for the sake of Allah, I'm going to drink alcohol. We say to him, this should not fulfill this vow. This is a sinful thing that you vow to do. And secondly, should he do a kafara, expiation for this? The ulama differed. Some said there's a kafara, some said there's no kafara, although that's not for our discussion right now. The point is, if you do a vow and it's haram, do not fulfill the vow. If the vow is to do something permissible and legislated, like I vow to fast a day for the sake of Allah, you have to fulfill your vow. It becomes fard for you now. If I said I made a vow I have to fast every Monday and Thursday, fasting Monday and Thursday is fard for you now, unless you have a valid excuse like sickness. But otherwise, you've made it a fard upon yourself. And this is why many scholars, they said, if there's no need to do vows, you should not do vows. Some said it's makruh, some said it's haram. Why? Because you're making things difficult. You're adding extra burdens upon yourself that you might not be able to fulfill. So a vow should be done when there's a need. And there's something that you really need to fulfill, and you promise Allah, Ya Allah, I'm going to do this for your sake, and through this give me your shifa, for example. Through this grant me ease, and you do it. But you should not be unnecessarily, I vow to do this and I vow to do this, and before you know it, you made the deen difficult upon yourself. And we had the previous hadith we spoke about, nobody goes to extremism in the deen except the deen will overcome him, to be too much for him. So we have to be careful with this. Wallahu a'lam. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.